Trades Mobile Application Final Year Project. My name is Durkashini Thinakaran from Politeknik METrO Johor Bahru with my teammate Norsyazwani binti Khamis as the background mod. Fuel Trace is a digital product where you can trace your company fuel consumption of a vehicle through GPS. This presentation separated into 5 parts. First is introduction, second will be the literature research, third will be research methodology, fourth will be result and analysis, 5 will be recommendation and conclusion. Now let's go to the introduction, which is the first part of the presentation. What is Fuel Trace? Fuel Trace is an integration of a wide accessible piece of GPS technology to develop an auxiliary control subsystem to observe and investigate the fuel consumption in every vehicle at the same time track your vehicle movement status.
Next slide is about background research. Cyber physical technology become the core foundation for the full track project. Cyber physical technology is a device or system in which the computer beside algorithms control. Navigation technology have become a crucial aspect of human operation, excited by the prospect of going from one location to another, without getting lost of knowing which direction for proceed which generate. Problem statement. Staff find difficulty to track the status of vehicle while delivering the good to their customer. Employee face problem when come down to track the full construction in every vehicle of the transport company during their delivery. Research question. How mobile application helps DVC can work to track the status of the vehicle with delivering the good to their customer? What are the factors affecting each vehicle fuel consumption? Research objective to examine the key issue affect the transport company administration, especially in tracking the status of the vehicle with delivery. To research the correct method and application which compress element of track the full consumption in very vehicle. Research scope. The study was carried out at the DVC Kenwood company which specifically engaged in the transport of fuel and other commodities during their initiative. The intended demography involved the driver and staff directly involved in transportation. Importance of research. To reduce the needed waiting time by using technology to make the job more direct for the staff. Track their driver on smartphone and the internet without the additional computers technology and the use of paper when calculate the fuel consumption. Definition of term or operation. The technology facility refer to the use of a technology tool that enables staff to track their driver and calculate the fuel consumption.
Now we are going to talk about the definition of terms and operations. What are they? The technical facilities refers to the use of the technological tool that enables the staff to track their drivers and calculate the fuel consumption. Now we are entering the part 2 of the presentation, which is literature research.
First, we need to know about 3 definitions, which is very important definition for Fuel Trace, which is Global Positioning System, which is known as GPS. What is GPS? Tracking system for cars and an object from one place to another place. Second is mobile application. What is mobile application? Everyone knows it is mobile apps, every commonly used in our digital society. Next and final definition is fuel consumption. What is fuel consumption? It's a fuel that consumed by vehicle from destination A to destination B, the traveling period. Now we need to know how GPS functions. Global Positioning System consists of 24 satellites to track control, and the areas of satellites. Second, a GPS receiver above the surface area picks at least overlapping the signals and utilize them to determine exactly how far the GPS receiver from the GPS satellites into the space. Therefore, the exact location on the Earth can be established from one point to another point by pinpointing the exact location. What are the advantages of GPS? Fleet real-time monitoring is the first one. If the vehicle agrees with the GPS device, it will exactly can track its location when ensuring the drivers comply with their routine. Second will be the enhance the productivity, which is the staff and the drivers. They doesn't need to wait for the data from where are they, and the staff no need to call the drivers where are they to locate their location. Third will be to reduce the fuel consumption. In case the staff already calculate the fuel consumption, if the fuel consumption is higher, they can reduce by 50% if they are managed to calculate and forecast the fuel consumption for the future trips, that which is A to B location. Fourth will be the better customer service. Customer no need to wait longer for their driver when they will arrive, so they can track their driver's location through their mobile application, which is called Fuel Trace. Now let's move to the fuel price. In current economy era, fuel price is increasing and the transportation cost also increasing. I'm not telling this bluffing on this statistic. In 2018, University Technology Petronas conducted a survey. On their findings, they revealed that when the fuel price is increasing, it's directly proportionate when the transportation cost is increasing. In a small word, is the fuel price increases, transportation also going to increases, which going to affect the companies. Now you are seeing a graph of comparison of cost transportation mode against the fuel price. It's shown that the increasing price of the fuel is going to affect the transportation cost by increasing every time. Look, you can see that every mode of transportation, which is the truck, train and ship, is increasing the fuel price. Also, their cost of transportation also increasing. So, in the conclusion that say fuel price is increasing the transportation cost, so we need to control our fuel consumption in order to control the transportation cost. First, we need to understand what are the factors affecting the fuel consumption. There are three factors that affecting the fuel consumption in a vehicle. First is speed, second is the distance, third will be the driver's behavior. Why I'm telling driver's behavior? If the driver's behavior not knowledgeable about the location and everything, it's going to consume the increase in the fuel consumption. See the first factor that affecting the fuel consumption, which is speed. On the first graph, they're showing average velocity, which is speed against the fuel consumption. This graph is provided by the American Truck Association. They stated that the ideal speed for the heavy duty vehicle is 50 to 80 kilometers per hour. And the same goes to the speed limit for heavy duty vehicle in Malaysia set by the national speed limit also set. In the express highway, they stated that 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, which is 50 to 56 miles per hour. In the federal and state road, it should be 70 to 80 kilometers by default, and it's stated also in the 50 kilometer per hour will be the same as the American Association stated. And the roads in the urban area, it will be need to be the heavy duty vehicle need to be in 60 kilometers per hour, which is 37 miles per hour. So these are the ideal speed that can reduce the fuel consumption in a heavy duty vehicle. Now we are entering the part 3 of the presentation, which is research methodology. How fuel trace is developed. So fuel trace has a two interface, which is administration staff interface and driver's interface. To create this interface, we are using the software called Ionic Creator, so we can develop the templates and the interface for the fuel trace app. Android Studio is used for the coding process. In order to the fuel trace app can save this data for the administration, for the forecasting for the fuel trace app. and for tracking their drivers. Now we are going to see how field trace work. This is the admin interface. Admin interface have 4 stages, which is first they need to input the driver's information in order to track their drivers. After they input the driver's information, they can see where their driver's location is through the GPS, and they can see there how the speed is using by the heavy duty vehicle and how long is going to take the delivery process. And once the driver finishes, they going to input the receipt or any kind of document in order to the administration staff can download, so they can reduce the time for the waiting for the data. And after that, every process of delivery is ended, they're going to calculate the fuel consumption. So how they're going to calculate the fuel consumption? Now we're going to see. Let's see.
Now we are seeing the fuel consumption calculator at the admin interface. So now the admin, after the delivery made, now the admin need to be click the calculate button. So a pop-up will be appear, so they can key in the data that required. So it's stated that each trip is maximum 200 kilometers. That means the minimum will be 200 kilometers. So the driver wages, which is salary for the driver, will be 300 per trip. So the maximum oil consumed by a lorry for each trip is 700 liter oil. So this kind of is an assumption of based on our survey and the calculation. So this type of variables can be adjusted depends on the company's needs. So now we are going to key in the data, which is, for example, is 300 kilometer. So the next will be 250. So it's stated that they have a between of the old mileage and new mileage is 50,000 kilometers will be done. So it's stated that there's 1,500 trips are made in between of 50,000 of kilometer mileage. So the driver wage will be 100,000. So and the delivery cost will be 1,104 ringgit Malaysia. So this is stated that this is for the 1,500 trips. So if they want to minimize even more, this can be customized according to the company's policy. And for them, they can to save the data, they can click the submit. The data will automatically be submitted. So after a quick loading, it will be submitted. So you say thank you for filling out the form, your response will be recorded. So that's all how we can, using Fuel Trace app, they calculate the fuel consumption through the delivery. So the distance will be get from the GPS system and together with the speed also.
Now you are seeing the driver interface. Driver interface has 2 sections only, where they can track their trip details and the duration, and they can upload the receipt for the administration staff to track. So in order to reduce the time for the waiting of the data and easy to track the administration staff for their drivers. Now we are entering the 4th part of the presentation, which is result and analysis for the Fuel Trace app that conducted among the respondents. Now you are seeing the pie chart for the respondent job scope in their company. We took almost 20 respondents for this survey. Among that, 70% of the respondents stated that they have a job scope as an administration staff. So they are going to use the administration interface. And it also stated that 30% are also the drivers. So it will be stated that in the survey, 30% of them agreed to survey the driver's interface in the Fuel Trace. Now you're seeing the second pie chart for the survey, which is calculating the fuel consumption of the vehicle in their company. They stated that 60% of the respondents stated that they have the process called fuel consumption calculation in their vehicle in their company, and stated that 30% of them stated that sometimes when the necessary situation occurs, they're going to calculate the fuel consumption of the vehicle in their company in order to reduce the resources. Then 10% of them stated that they doesn't have the process called fuel calculating consumption, which is they doesn't have going to calculate the fuel consumption because they stated that doesn't have a proper system to calculate. So fuel trace can help this 10% and the 30% and the 60% also, because we have the market for them. Now you are seeing the third data, which is the method of collect for the mileage data in a vehicle. 75% of the respondents stated that they go direct and collect the data mileage in the vehicle by themselves. So here we're going to see the time productivity and the time consumed for the collect the data. So the staff need to wait for the driver and the vehicle to collect the mileage data. If they have the fuel trace app in the mobile, so that is the driver can input the data, my odometer data in the app, so the staff don't need to go collect the data by themselves. So next is the 15% of the respondents stated they will get the mileage data through WhatsApp by picture which is sent by the driver, which is taken the odometer picture before and after the delivery made. And 10% of the respondents stated that they will call the driver and ask about the mileage data. So this will be a negative point for the company if the driver never pick up the call made by the administration staff. So they're still going to wait for the data for odometer in order to calculate the fuel consumption. So fuel trace can reduce this kind of errors made by the staff. Now you are seeing a bar chart show how it is easy to calculate the fuel consumption rate using fuel trace app. So a small demo was shown to the respondent in order to understand how fuel trace app function. So they stated that 95% of the respondents stated that it's very extremely easy to calculate the fuel consumption rate if they're using the fuel trace app. And stated also there's a 5% of the respondents also say it's easy to calculate the fuel consumption rate, and stated that there is 0% of respondents stated it's so difficult to calculate the fuel consumption rate in the fuel trace app. So in the conclusion we can stated that almost is going to 95% stated that using fuel trace app is going to very easy to calculate their fuel consumption rate. Now you are seeing the next bar chart, which is how easy to track their drivers during the delivery services to the customer. It stated that 80% of the stated that it's easy, very extremely easy to track their drivers, and 20% of the said also easy because they're using also the app to track their drivers, and they said 0% of the respondents stated is difficult. So here also we have a success rate which is almost 80% of the respondents stated that it's very extremely easy to track their drivers during the delivery services to the customer by using the fuel trace app, because we're going to give the GPS system in the driver's system, because by using the handphone, the smartphone will be always in the on mode, so we can track their drivers very easily, like we are using the Grab application in nowadays and the Foodpanda and Go, so on. Now you're seeing the sixth data, which is a bar chart. It stated that will the respondent choose the fuel trace app that has GPS and fuel consumption calculator compared to other application as one, which is GPS or fuel consumption calculator. It stated that 85% of the respondents stated that they will choose the fuel trace app because it is easy to use, and they will 50% of the respondents also stated maybe we consider using because they already have the either one system, but they say also they will consider because two systems in one one application, why not? And here also we stated that 0% of respondents say they will not choose. So we still have the market for the Free Trade app among the respondents. Now you are seeing the 8 data, which is how likely would the respondent will be using the Few Trades app if was available in their devices. 90% of the respondents say they extremely likely going to use the app if available in their devices, and 10% also stated they will likely, and there's a 0% of respondents also stated that they're not likely at all to use if it was available in their device. Here also they have a success rate with this 90% that say extremely likely the respondent will be using the Few Trades app if available on their devices. Now you are seeing the final data for the Few Trades app survey that conducted among the respondents. This stated how likely are the respondents will recommending this Few Trades app to their company. It stated that strongly 80% of them will suggest to the company in order to reduce the fuel consumption rate and increase the productivity in their company. So we achieve our objective, and stated that 50% of them also maybe will suggest this app to their company. So they need to discuss with the higher management in order to apply this application in their company, and stated that 5%, which is maybe one respondent, will stated that they will not suggest this app to the company because they already has a fuel consumption rating in their company. So they stated that they will not invest in this Few Trades app in order to increase their productivity. Now you are entering the final part, which is recommendation and conclusion. Now we are going to discuss about the Few Trades app, which is how we are going to solve the problem that faced by agencies in work, which is they hard to track their drivers and they need to calculate the fuel consumption rate. So here we can increase the fuel consumption differences. So fuel consumption efficiency is related to the fuel consumed in a vehicle for the delivery purpose. This fuel consumption plays a critical part in the calculating of the use of resources by the company itself. In another hand, the global expert is trying to reduce the fuel consumption in order to solve the global warming problem that may affect the human activity as the whole and is going to affect the logistics industry in the future. So, in another part of this discussion, we also emphasize the productivity, which is the time. So time is essential when they may affect the human activity as whole also if they doesn't plan or doesn't have the equipment to solve their problems. So in order to reduce the waste of the time, so we are created the Few Trades app to make the staff easy to calculate the fuel consumption in their vehicle without the waiting time to be verified from the third party like the driver in order to collect the mileage data from the driver and the vehicle itself. So we achieve our objective and the questions. Now we are entering the recommendation that made by the respondents during the survey conducted for the Few Trades app, which is first is the design Android application for the fuel consumption. So in the constant evolution of the technology, every industry needs technology in day-to-day operation of the company. So with the aid of the mobile technology, now you can facilitate the organization's job or the day-to-day basic operation, when it reduces the workforce and the time they consume in the company. So at the workforce, latest technology make the job more efficient and effective. So the application of the Few Trades can facilitate the employees to calculate the fuel consumption clearly instantly without taking a long time. Also, the application can simplify the procedure for tracking their drivers and for the delivery during the delivery services provided by the organization or the company in the logistics sector. So it will make their job very easy. Next is the application to tracing the fuel consumption and the tracking delivery drivers. From the survey conducted for the fuel trace application, there are one recommendation suggested the most by the respondents. For the further improvement of the fuel trace application, the respondent recommendation need to be considered. The application used by the administration staff can be easily calculated for the fuel consumption. At the same time, can track the delivery drivers. The function and the app is to track the drivers and calculate the fuel consumption of the vehicle. The recommendation provided the respondent is the user and the driver can avoid the notification so they can arrange the time and the reduce of the fuel consumption in the time. Secondly, data security also need to be examined when they involve organization, private and confidential data which may bring the collapse if the data fall in the wrong hands. So increasing the data application security will be the primary focus when it's come to the customizing the application based on the customer or the company or the organization requirements. Now we came to the conclusion for the presentation now. Does we achieve the research objective, or does we answer the research questions, or does we solve the problem faced by the staff, or the recommendations? So now we are going to see everything in every one. Yes, for the first three questions, we answer the questions, we achieve the objective, and we solve the problem, which is track the drivers and solve the fuel consumption calculated problem in the company. After surveying the fuel trace application, it clearly should we get to understand more about the respondent or the experimental participant, their preparedness and demand for this application. Fuel trace application had established a demand and a quality of tracking their drivers and fuel consumption calculated in order to the logistics sector with a high percentage level of respondents, particularly in our country. It is a highly esteemed and a critical service quality may affect both of the user or administration staff and the driver. In addition, the study indicated the other interventions and initiatives to strengthen the organism beyond the application of the fuel trace that will be assist the desired the administration and the drivers in their implementation of their operations. To conclude, what have been observed through the operation inside the delivery drivers together with the administration staff as more affordable, available, clean, effective, comfortable and able to transit the service to attract and to solve the problem they face by the company staff. Increase the companies to choose the application as the solution for the both problems faced by the organization to monitor the drivers and calculate the fuel consumption. This is the conclusion that we can came through after the project being done. Thank you for watching and listening our final year project, which is Fuel Trace mobile application. Anything, anytime, anywhere. Signing off, Durkashini from Politeknik METrO Johor Bahru with my friend, teammate Norsyazwani binti Khamis.